And welcome to the show. With me in the studio today are two brilliant chefs. First, the man who Jamie Oliver entrusts to run his groundbreaking London restaurant 15. It's John Rotherham. And next to him is a new face on Saturday Kitchen, having been crowned MasterChef Professionals Champion. He's now in charge of Michel Roux Jr.'s restaurant on the corner of Parliament Square. It's Steve Groves. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
So firing away, I think, John, you're firing away. What are you going to make for us then?
Today I'm going to do rainbow trout, which is cured, with Jersey Royal crisps, ricotta, and a bit of preserved lemon.
It is one of these fish, river fish, farmed all over the UK. We don't seem to be eating as much as we should do. You buy it in supermarkets. You're going to cure it, though. I'm
going to cure it. Again, I don't think we do this too much in this country, but I think curing's a lovely way. You can prepare it the day before, come in, and it's ready to go. Sounds
pretty good. Steve's nodding at that one. What are you going to make for us then?
I'm doing a really simple shellfish cassoulet. I'm going to serve that with a little simple fennel salad as well.
Cassoulet you'd think generally with meat, but you're going to make it with seafood. So.
Yeah, with the seafood it's just a little bit lighter and fresher and kind of goes with the season, I think.
Sounds pretty good. And topped off with breadcrumbs under the grill.
Yeah, nice and crunchy.
There you go. So two top dishes to look forward to. And as usual, we've got our fantastic selection of foodie films to look forward to as well. Today we've got portions from Rick Stein, Celebrity MasterChef, and a new addition to the programme in the form of those two greedy Italians, Antonio Carluccio and Gennaro Contaldo. Now, our special guest today holds the unusual accolade of having starred in two of the biggest shows on TV, EastEnders and Coronation Street. She's now left Weatherfield, though he's back with us on BBC on Saturday nights next month in the cast of Casualty. Please welcome to Saturday Kitchen, it's Michelle Collins. Hello. Great to have you in the show, Michelle. Now, are you a big foodie? Because, I mean, we're talking about your book as well, but I read a little bit about you seem to work all the time.
I haven't joined the cast of Casualty. I've only done 3.
Oh, 3. All right. Yes. Well, that's next month anyway. So
anyway, that's just it.
Do you get time to...
No, I'm not a big cook. My daughter loves cooking. She's half Italian, so she loves cooking. She tends to do the cooking a bit more now. She won't let me cook for her at all anymore. Because I'm not that good, really.
All right, well, we're good to, hopefully you'll get some inspiration.
I have friends who are very good cooks, so I let them do it all.
You'll get some inspiration from these guys. Now, of course, at the end of today's programme, they'll cook Food Heaven or Food Hell from Michelle. It's something based on your favourite ingredient, Food Heaven, or your nightmare ingredient, Food Hell. It's up to our chefs and some of our viewers to decide what you'll be eating at the end of the show. Right. So, Food Heaven, what would it be?
It'd have to be some form of fish, tuna.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yes,
all right.
Yeah.
Good, because that's what we've got in the fridge.
Oh.
Luckily.
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. What about the dreaded Food Hell?
Well, actually, fennel's one of them, and they're both cooking fennel, aren't they? It'd have to be... I'm not a huge meat eater, but it would have to be pork.
Do you watch the show? Roast pork and crackling?
I would never choose pork. I like the crackling. You see, I could never be a vegetarian. I like the crackling.
Oh, right. There you go.
I'm not sure, but you might convert me. I don't know.
Well, there you go. Well, it's either tuna or pork. For Food Heaven, I'm going to serve the tuna in another one of your favourite ways, an Asian style, because I know you love those flavours with chilli and everything else. The tuna is rolled in a mixture of chilli, rice, wine vinegar, sugar and lemongrass, and it's seared in a hot griddle and served sliced on a bed of asparagus, baby radishes, turnips, coriander and mint. How does that sound?
Nice.
Oh, Michelle could be facing Food Hell. Of course, that pork. I'm going to take a loin of pork, butterfly it, then stuff it with a mixture of lemon zest, lemon juice, breadcrumbs, suet, sage, minced pork, and it's served with wilted cabbage, mashed potato and some gravy with it as well. Sounds pretty good. You have to wait to the end of the show. It went in rehearsal big time. You have to wait to find out at the end of the show which one she's going to get. Now, if you'd like to put your questions to any of our chefs today, then you can do that by calling this number. That's 033 0123 1410. That's 033 0123 1410. If you were able to put your questions to us live a little later on, and if I do get to speak to you, then we're also asking you whether you want Michelle to face Food Heaven or Food Hell. Now, I saw you had a cheeky pain au chocolat or croissant for breakfast earlier.
Yeah.
You've got more food.
I wouldn't normally.
You've got more food coming up now. The help of this man. Starting off today is John Rotherham. Great to have you on the show.
Great to be back.
Looking at you like that, I feel like I should be walking over to you with a cane like this. Yeah. That's a serious outfit, that, isn't it,
well,
John?
they keep the trousers on.
That's a serious outfit. So what are you going to make for us then?
Today, like it's a lightly cured sea trout, rainbow trout, sorry. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, is just mix the salt and sugar together. Yeah. And what we want to, if I could get you to start making the Jersey Royal crisp.
Jersey Royal crisp, using one of these.
Slice them on the mandolin, it'd be amazing.
Right. So we're going to deep fry these Jersey Royals?
Just deep fry them. Again, we just slice them from raw, just run them under the tap, and then just deep fry them on a low temperature, about 150 works. Okay. Just good. So into this cure is a bit of salt and sugar. Now, it's equal quantities is an easy way to remember. So to put equal quantities of salt and sugar in there. A little lemon zest as well, just goes through there. And then we're going to add some spices as well. We're going to add a bit of star anise, some fennel seeds and coriander seeds, and they just
So is this equal quantity of each then, this cure? Is that what we're using, salt and sugar?
Salt and sugar, yeah, equal quantities, and we're only going to put it in there because it's a quite small fish. We're only going to put it in the cure for probably, I reckon, about 8 hours would be just about right for this one. But again, if you get bigger fish, just cure it a little bit longer. And then all you're going to do is just cover it completely with the cure.
So it's the same as when we're making gravlax.
Exactly, it's the same sort of thing with gravlax. But again, they're beautiful this time of year. I think they're really lovely and fresh, and it's perfect for this spring. So we just cover that like so. Just pop that in the fridge and just leave it for 8 hours.
Now, tell us about 15 then. Still going strong? Because you've got the one in London, well, all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, there's one in London, there's one in Cornwall as well. It's still going very, very strong, both of them. Yeah, the restaurant's extremely busy this time of year, which is great for us. And
you implemented new changes on the new menu then? So...
Yeah, well, what we do is we talk, you know, we've both got the same love for food, so we both have the same theories around it. So we write the menu every day, which is nice. Sometimes if we like something, it stays on the menu. And we're kind of pretty much dictated by the season, so if we get some lovely asparagus in, we'll use that on the menu. We kind of write the menus backwards. You know, we see the produce first of all and then think about what's going to go on the menu, which is a great way of doing it.
Now, you can see that what happens to the fish as well once you cure it.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's firmed up really nicely. So that's, you know, just exactly where we want it. And what I'm going to do as well, a lot of people just throw the skin away. What I want to do is blowtorch the skin and get a nice little crispy skin going on.
I'll give you a bit of that. Otherwise, we're going to need a new chopping board.
I said right to the Saturday morning kitchen. Anyway, and then all I'm going to do, again, if you haven't got a blowtorch at home, just use a really, really, really hot pan and just scorch the skin. Non-stick pan's brilliant for this.
I do this at my place, really, with the mackerel you can cook like this as well, which you can and scallops you can cook all the way through the blowtorch as well. I think it's a
lovely, lovely method to use, actually.
So why are you doing that with that one, then? Just for the skin?
Just for the skin, because, like I say, people throw away and you get a really nice crispy skin, and I like that. Yeah. And it helps really cut through the meatiness of the
skin's the best bit.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is the best bit. It really is. Now, with this, what I'm going to do...
That's why you like the crackling, you see.
Yeah. I'm going to do some preserved lemons. So, again, this is another little thing you could do a couple of weeks in advance. And what we do is we put some water, some vinegar and sugar, bring it up to the heat and take it off.
So are these like the sort of the Moroccan preserved lemons? Is that the kind of stuff that you're trying to achieve or not?
It's just really because I love this, you know, it's like a little pockets of flavour going on. And I use a lot of salt lemons in the restaurant, but, you know, when you're at home and you haven't got much time, it's great to just slice these up and just pop them in. So all we do is...
Do you want me to slice that for you?
Yeah, that'd be lovely if you could. There you go. Just slice up very thin and then you just pop them in that sugar and just leave it in your fridge, leave it for a couple of weeks. It's brilliant.
Right. So have you got any salt in there as well or not? Just sugar?
Just sugar, salt... Sorry, sugar, vinegar and water.
Right.
You can pop a bit of salt in there. There's no harm in that at all. So with this, I'm going to make this... use this ricotta. And again, it brings that creaminess to the dish because it's kind of a nice spring salad. So what we want to do is just... The ricotta is sometimes a little bit thick for me, so I want it to be spread nicely on the plate.
So I missed that. How long would you cook these for then?
Those, I'll just bring it up to heat, take it off and just let it sit.
Okay. Remember, if you'd like to put your questions to either John or Steve today, then you can call us now on this number. That's 0330 123 1410. That's 0330 123 1410. Calls us charged at the standard network rate.
Yeah.
Right, so you've got ricotta in there?
You've got ricotta in there. A little touch of milk just to loosen it up. And just spread it. Add a bit of pinch of salt to it as well. And that goes lovely there. Now, with this, we've got some raw peas. Again, when they're just potted, they're beautiful. They're not too starchy.
Yeah.
So we just potted those, and we're just going to dress it with some lemon juice and olive oil. Really, really simple.
What is this you brought with us? What's this?
This is mustard leaves. Now, again, beautiful, really peppery. So we've got this creaminess. We need that little pepperiness going through.
Okay, there you go.
We've got some mustard leaves, and we've got some wild fennel as well, which is great at this time of year. Yeah, we've got this lovely little forager who comes out and picks us.
See, I read the brief, you see, Michelle. You don't like fennel, so these two have stuck fennel on both of their kitchens.
But do real people use fennel or just TV chefs? That's what I want to know.
It's just these boys, you know.
Yeah, they just say to us, what do we want to use? Fennel.
Yeah.
So that goes in the middle of the plate there.
Now, you just put a little bit of milk just to soften that up a bit.
Soften it up a bit. Again, it depends on what the ricotta's like, but I think just a little bit touch of milk and softens it up. Now,
what would you use if you didn't use fennel? What would you supplement it with?
Oh, a bit of radishes would be nice. Right. Some radishes in there. But I like that aniseedy flavour as well. I think it works so well with this fish.
So what have you put in there?
Dill. So in there, a bit of lemon oil,
Okay.
some more wild fennel, and then again, I just taught.
So you just lemon oil, but you just put lemon juice and olive oil.
Lemon juice and olive oil.
So it's like a dressing, really,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah. So all we do is just toss that together. Place the sea trouts in there. That's nicely torched. So just going to cut that in half.
So it's going to eat like gravlax then.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you can just.
And it isn't expensive, this rainbow trout, as well, because a lot of it's farmed, of course, nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, all I want to do is just put the peas on top, sprinkle that, and that gives that lovely freshness and makes it more of a salad as well. And some of the leaves. Just place it on there.
So these mustard leaves, where do people get those from? Because I haven't seen those really in the supermarkets, though.
A lot of the, they're not around in the supermarkets. They should be. There's some mustard frills in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
But I get this from some veg supplies that we use in the restaurant. And if you can't, you can substitute it with a bit of watercress or anything like that. And the crisps, again, lovely Jersey Royals, but it just gives that crispy element to the dish, which I quite like.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Would you serve that as a starter or main in your
I'd serve
restaurant?
that as a starter or with a bunch of friends to just plonk it on the plate.
Yeah. Bunch of friends to eat that
Yeah.
as well. Just for me. But anyway, tell us the name of this dish.
So there we've got some lovely rainbow trout with some peas, ricotta, and some preserves, lemons as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you mentioned you could leave those for weeks, really, but how long would you cook them?
Yeah, I would literally just bring them up to heat, take them off, and just sit them. And as soon as they go nice and soft, they're ready to go.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
Easy as that. And you get to dive into this one, first of all. Like that. Dive in. Now, you mentioned sea trout quite a few times over there. Slightly different in price, of course.
Slightly different in price.
Slightly different in price. But rainbow trout, like I said, really inexpensive.
Rainbow trout's great this time of year. Really inexpensive. And a lot of supermarkets are doing it.
Yeah,
so
I think the best way to do that is get the fishmonger to actually take the bones out for you as well.
take the little pin bones
Because they can dive in, but it can be quite fiddly, though.
Yeah, it can be quite filly, but again, get the fishmonger to do it for you, and there's lovely little fillets ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
And the crispy skin with the blowtorch.
Yeah.
Dive in.
Some nice crisps.
Good. Great texture, isn't it?
Luxury crisps.
There you go. Right, we need some wines to go with this. Our wine expert this week is Tim Atkin, and he's been to the New Forest in Hampshire. Not only has he been looking at wine, but he's having a look at some pretty tasty cars too. Let's see what he's chosen to go with John's terrific trout.
Cheers.
Don't take me fishing either, but anyway, what do you think of this?
It's very nice. It's very sharp. I think it goes really well with just the fish on its own. You know, I wouldn't necessarily drink it on its own, but it's lively and sharp and cuts through the trout lovely.
I mean, both of us were saying when that was playing, it was actually better than it was this morning. To be honest.
Definitely.
I think that, together with Colgate this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, didn't really work. But it's a great
trout. It's delicious.
Great mixture. Happy with that? Good
Gorgeous,
stuff? There you go.
gorgeous, and I can hardly taste the fennel. Thank
well, there you go.
No, really lovely.
She's a good actress, you see. Coming up, Steve has a great shellfish recipe to share with us. What are you going to do with it?
It's a cassoulet of shellfish. We've got some really nice sweet prawns and scallops in there. A little fennel salad on the side, which I'm sure you'll love.
Push it off to one side. Don't forget, you could ask Steve or John if you question, if you call this number. That's 0330 123 1410. That's 0330 123 1410. Standard call charges do apply, of course. Right, let's get our final Indian food parcel from Rick Stein. Last week we saw Rick judge a curry competition. Now the winner takes him to his house to show him just how he made it. Enjoy this one. Next week he's back in the UK celebrating great British seafood. Now, over the last month, we've been featuring some of the finalists from the BBC Food and Farming Awards, Best Producer category. The awards took place earlier this week, and here's one of the runner-ups with some unusual cured meats from a producer in Dorset called Capriolas, which you've got these fantastic sort of cured meats from Brizola, Saucisson Sec, all of which is produced here in the UK, down in Dorset. You guys get to dive into that. But
Great.
The overall winner were halibut farmers, and this fantastic piece of halibut here, reared by Alistair Barge and Amanda Anderson from the Isle of Gigha in Scotland. It's an amazing fish's halibut, and to say this is farmed is really spectacular. They have these amazing tanks which filter seawater. there's about 1,400 litres a second go into these huge tanks.
Wow.
And it takes 4 years to produce a halibut like this.
Wow.
It's a beautiful piece of fish.
How much would that cost?
Courier each, I don't know, 35, 30, 40 quid, something like that. But look at the size of it, it's massive, isn't it?
This dried pork loin is gorgeous.
It's beautiful,
lovely.
isn't it?
Really sweet, really delicious.
Mutton salami.
You can big it up all you want, boys, but it didn't win.
Yeah.
No, this did. But
Can
look.
you cut his head off, please?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the fillets off, yeah.
He's looking at me.
Michelle, I'm going as fast as I can, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get attached to him, and then you're going to cut it off.
How do you know it's a he, anyway? Right.
Yeah.
Well, how do you tell?
Don't know. No idea. Right,
Yes,
so we've got this beauty. Now, ideally, I'm going to move this out of the way because you don't want to look at it. But ideally, I would cook this on the bone because to have fish this good, and particularly halibut and turbot, have it on the bone, this is just spectacular. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically just take off what they call the little fins or the skirt around the outside, and then we're going to pan fry this.
It's a girl, then. It's got a skirt.
No, yeah, yeah. And then what we're going to do is basically just chop it up into pieces, really, and then pan fry it. So. And as good as fish this is, you just want to just keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to do this with asparagus and just a classic sort of brown butter sauce, really. So it's all going to cook in real time. So in we go with the fish, a little bit of oil in the pan just to get that started.
What's the best oil to cook fish in?
I like using this sort of rapeseed oil to cook in, but any sort of... You wouldn't really use olive oil for this one, but just plain rapeseed oil, which was great. It's produced in the UK as well, this sort of stuff. But
why wouldn't you use olive oil?
because I'm a Yorkshireman, it's too expensive, Michelle. Yes. We give that away as Christmas presents and stuff like that. We don't use it in cooking.
We wrap those up.
We don't use it in cooking, no, not at all. So life's busy for you at the moment. You've just brought out a new book, so tell us about the book, because it's an autobiography.
It is. It's an autobiography, and it's called This Is Me.
Is that what it's
Couldn't
called?
think of a better title, no. Yeah, it's called This Is Me, and it starts, obviously, the year I was born, and it ends Christmas 2013.
Because it goes through your entire career, because you've had a mix in your career, really. You always wanted to be an actor and an actress as well, but, you know, turned down away from several acting colleges as well. Must have been quite tough to start off with, just to get your foot through the door, I suppose.
I mean, I came from North London, from Islington. I've got a sister who's 14 months older than me, and it was my mum was a single parent. So, you know, growing up in the sort of 60s, 70s, it was pretty tough. And I just went to a sort of a normal school where we didn't really do much drama. So I left when I went to youth theatre. Then I left when I was 16 to do a sort of performing arts course at college. Then auditioned for drama school, and no, I didn't get in anywhere. So I was 17 when I auditioned, and it cost a fortune to audition as well. So
did you do sort of nativity plays and stuff like that when you were at school?
When I was little, I did, but I always got terrible roles, like
I bet you were good though.
A donkey or something, or
donkey?
you know, yeah. I was never Mary.
I was the donkey's backside when I was at school. I was useless.
Did you do many plays at school, James?
No, I was hopeless. I got demoted and put on lighting after my first ever nativity play. I was useless. And lighting was only one switch, and I managed to mess that up as well. But
my classroom burnt down after the nativity.
Did it?
So, yeah, we had similar experiences, yeah. And so, yeah, I was turned down by about 12 different drama schools, and it actually made me a bit more angry than anything, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to go and do it myself. So I answered sort of ads in Time Out and the stage and television, and sort of did it the other way, did lots of fringe work, and then I got involved in a pop band.
Is acting like the sort of things where you get the job because of the catalogue of your previous jobs? Is that the kind of thing with acting?
Yeah, well, obviously, it's a catch-22, because if you don't have the job in the first place, or you don't have a sort of a show reel, it's very hard. It's very hard for young people to get agents, you know, things like that.
Now, you mentioned a band. This was a band, what, was 18 months, 2 years you were in it?
81 or something like that, I think, 81,
because you had a solo single as well after the band, didn't you?
That was much later, and I don't talk about that, James. That was...
Yeah, go on.
That was terrible.
But you did,
But the band, there were 9 guys and 3 girls. We were called Mary Wilson and the Wilsatians, and she had a big beehive, and we had little beehives. We were allowed to have little beehives. But we had a few hits. So
how do you go from there to getting a job in EastEnders?
Well, I didn't really. It was sort of through default, because I couldn't really sing. I lied and said that I could sing. I lied a lot when I was young to get jobs. Only little white lies. If you're watching this at home, only little white lies.
Right,
I said I could play the trumpet. You know, I couldn't play the trumpet. But you have to so little ones along the way. So and also I really did it, because in those days you had to have an equity card.
Right.
Whereas these days, Equity is a strong union. It's a great union, but not enough people join Equity, unfortunately. But in those days, you couldn't do anything without the union. So I got my card through being in the band.
Right.
And then when I left the band, I met Tim Roth, huge... you may have heard of Tim Roth.
Yeah, yeah.
Little known actor. He's now gone to America. And he got me into an actors' co-op, which means that actors sort of set up their own agency. And so I got into TV and I did my first TV role with Gary Oldman when I was about 21.
That's EastEnders. You were only 26
I was 26.
26 when you started that?
Yeah, which I think was good. I think I was sort of fairly grounded by the time I'd gone into EastEnders. And I was a jobbing actress. And I always remember when I met Julia Smith, who was the famous, producer. And I went for the interview and she offered me the job on literally there and then. And said, do you want to go down and meet everyone? In those days, EastEnders was huge. It was getting like 19, 20 million. And I said, oh, no, I don't think
figures of this
so.
show, really? Ish. Yeah.
Well, everything was huge.
Yeah, it was massive, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly.
And so I said no, because I was terrified. And then she said, it's going to change your life. But, of course, you don't. And I said, yeah. But it did change my life enormously.
But to go from that as well, you're one of the few actresses to go from that to Coronation Street as well, because it's quite difficult to break sort of, a traditional role like in EastEnders, because you can become typecasted.
Yeah, and I mean, I was lucky. I think you've got to be very careful with the roles that you choose. I mean, I left after 2.5 years and for about 18 months. And, in fact, I became a TV presenter, James. But I didn't cook. I didn't cook.
I saw it. This was on The Word.
Yeah. And in my book, the chapter is the world's worst TV presenter. Because I was really awful. But, in fact, I did meet the producer who said, you weren't that bad. But I think I was pretty bad.
No, you were all
I only
right.
did it for about 4 months. And it was live TV. And live TV is hard. And interviewing...
I've been winging it for 8
See,
years.
maybe I should have...
Nobody's found out yet.
No, I think, if you're good, you make it look easy. But it's not easy. And, as I said, I did it for about 4 months. And I made lots of cock-ups. And I wasn't great. I don't think I was great. I wasn't really that into it, and there were too many egos going on for me, really. And they took my script away. I'm fine with the script, but when it's, interviewing people, wasn't really for me.
So, as well as that, you're in the theatre as well. Your book's out. Theatre, tell us about the new play you've got.
I'm doing a play next, yes, at the Hampstead Theatre in North London.
Yeah.
And it's called The Glass Supper, and it's a brand new play written by... a guy called Martin Hesford, who's done a lot of TV, mostly TV and film. Did something about Kenneth Williams, the biopic. Did you see it with Mother Machine? Great. And this is a brand new play. And Hampstead have a really great reputation for putting on new plays, so I'm really excited. And I haven't done theatre for about 3.5 years. So it's scary, but it's a good challenge.
Well,
and
if you want somebody for lighting, I'm your man. See? So, right, this is... We've had such a busy time talking, but it's done. You've got
and
English...
it's nice and crispy.
English asparagus, crispy skin, no fennel.
Yeah.
See, I read the script. And then this is the little butter sauce, brown butter.
Wow.
Capers, we've got lemon in there, I've got some shallots, parsley, and then some of these blood oranges, which are also in season as well at the moment.
Amazing.
But Gia halibut, I think you'll really like this. It's farmed. It is fantastic. Chefs are using it all across the country. You guys have come across it as well. But
try it now.
Yeah, dive into that. It's beautiful. It's lovely, fresh and meaty. But if you've got time, my advice really is to cook it with the bone in, really. It keeps it lovely and moist. But you can see from the texture here, when you break that, I mean, look at that beautiful fish. It's just... It's delicious.
That is gorgeous.
But keep it lovely and simple. There you go. We produce some amazing stuff in this country, and
I'm
that's
not
one of
too
them.
rich. That's gorgeous.
Now you can catch up with all the winners from the BBC Food and Farming Awards in a special edition of the food programme on Radio 4 on Sunday. There you go. And what we'll be cooking for Michelle at the end of the show, she could be facing food heaven. That tuna, the tuna is rolled in a mixture of rice wine vinegar, chilli, lemongrass and sugar, and seared and sliced, and served with a salad of asparagus, baby radishes, turnips, watercress, mint and some coriander. Oh, Michelle could be facing food hell, of course. That pork, I'm going to butterfry a whole loin of pork, then stuff it with lemon zest, breadcrumbs, minced pork and suet it, and it's roasted and served with some spring cabbage, mashed potato and proper gravy. Some of our viewers, because my mother's watching, some of our viewers in the chefs in the studio get side Michelle's fate today, but you have to wait to the end of the show to see the final result. Now, let's see how the Celebrity MasterChef hopefuls got on when they faced their first mass catering task, cooking for the players at the Harlequins Rugby Club. This is disaster in the making. Have a look at this. You know things are bad when John has to start cooking the puddings. You can see how they all get on and if they fare any better in 20 minutes. Still to come this morning on Saturday Kitchen Live. We welcome Antonio Carlucci and Gennaro Contaldo to our Saturday Kitchen roster of foodie films. The two greedy Italians are in the north of Italy sampling some very expensive balsamic vinegar before helping make tortellini for a family feast. Steve may be the MasterChef Professionals champion, but there's only one culinary examination on British TV. Gets worse. The Saturday Kitchen Omelette Challenge. You can see if he can clutch the centre of the omelette board or whether John can scramble himself to the top live a little later on. 8 years, it still doesn't get any better. And will Michelle be facing Food Heaven, that Asian-style seared tuna with asparagus salad, or Food Hell, stuffed tuna loin with pork and cabbage with mashed potato and proper gravy. Right, let's get cooking our next dish. And to do this is the man in charge of the Roux family's award-winning restaurant on the corner of Parliament Square in London. It's Steve Groves. Welcome to the show, Steve. Your first time on the show.
It is.
So what are we cooking then? What are we going to make?
We're going to make a really quick and simple shellfish cassoulet. So we've got some really great British shellfish. We've got some lovely scallops there. Some cockles and mussels. I mean, you could quite simply do this dish with just the cockles and mussels. You wanted to keep it a bit cheaper.
Now, when you mentioned cassoulet, the first thing I would think of was sort of meat-based, but this is all seafood.
I mean, generally it would have kind of pork and
duck
sausage
and goose
and country duck and things like that in there. But, like I say, this one's just a slightly simpler version.
Okay.
More kind of fresh and...
So this is the
good
sauce.
for the season, I think.
This is the sauce bit of it that we're making now, then.
Yeah, so we're starting off in the pan with just a little bit of shallot and garlic. We've got some prawns in the dish. I'm going to put the heads and shells just in there as well.
Okay.
That gives a really nice kind of, really good flavour. There's so much flavour in the heads and the prawns. Just get that turning over. A little bit of thyme in there.
Now I'm going to cook these beans, which have been in soak as well.
Yeah, so we just want to cook those in some white chicken stock. Don't put salt in at the beginning, because it can toughen up the skins. Just some chunky vegetables so you can fish them out at the end. And that's going to cook for about 40 minutes.
Now, people will be switching on, recognising you from MasterChef The Professionals, but it was a while back now, wasn't it?
It was, 5 years ago.
Yeah? What was that like for you, winning that? I mean, it
was a stressful experience. I mean, I was working about 90 hours a week at the time with Tristan Welsh, that's been on the show before as well. And going and doing that on my days off, I say it was stressful, but I mean, it's been great since. I mean, I've made a great contact in Chef Michel. Obviously now working in his restaurant in Parliament Square. So yeah, it's been great. It presents great opportunities, but you've still got to kind of push yourself to make the most of it.
What were you doing before then, when you said your days off?
On my days off, well, I generally sleep.
No. Before MasterChef, what were you doing?
I was a chef before.
You were
it was a professional MasterChef I did.
Sorry, right.
Yeah, working crazy hours.
Tristan as well, Launceston Place, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were there?
So, I mean, that was great. I mean, he was brilliant to work for, really enthusiastic, and I learned so much there. And that's why I stayed there for a year after winning the show, because, I mean, obviously there were offers afterwards, but for me, I was learning so much that it made sense to stick around.
Well, it's an amazing family to work for as well, isn't it, really? Once you bed in, that's it for the rest of your career, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. And, I mean, I get advice from Chef Albert, Chef Michel, and to have that kind of feedback from industry legends is just kind of... It's one of the best things you can have, really, and also still get a certain amount of freedom to create my own stuff and put my own identity on the restaurant.
So tell us about the restaurant then. Bang in the centre of London.
Yeah, so it's right in Parliament Square.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, most of our dishes are based around classics, so things like this, the cassoulet, it's a real French classic, but we just kind of brought it up to a kind of modern feel and make it nice and light.
Now, I've seen it on your menu as well. You don't do it with this with scallops as well. You just do it with, was it just cod?
We serve it with a bit of baked cod.
Yeah.
Kind of a side dish, really, but it just kind of adds a bit of contrast.
Right, just to run through what's going on, because there's a lot of things going on. You've made not only have you cooked the mussels in there, but you've got a sauce out of it as well. Yeah,
so basically you get from that this amazing stock, which has got the best flavour. I don't think there's any stock that's better than that, really. And that's going to be the base of our cassoulet.
Right.
Into the pan.
Those prawn heads just give so much flavour, don't they?
They do. I mean,
that's
sweetness,
really
more than
sweetness.
anything. It's so good. So we're going to sweat some fennel now.
Yeah. Fennel again, Michelle.
And a little bit of butter.
It's the fennel show,
We've
isn't
got
it?
layers of fennel flavour.
You see?
Just a fennel gratin.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely. I mean, that just gives a really nice kind of aniseed flavour. So once that starts cooking down, we're going to add the tomatoes that you're dicing there.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick the shellfish in a minute for you as well. So tomato concasse you've got in there as well.
Yep. We've got...
But you're right in the middle of it. I mean, all this London scene has just gone crazy over recent years, hasn't it? And just when you think you can't get any more restaurants in London, it gets bigger and even more.
I mean, yeah, it's great. And it's so diverse as well. It's just kind of... You can eat out really cheap, you can blow loads of money and eat somewhere really luxurious, but there's such diversity in London at the moment. And I think it's great. There's so many good chefs.
I kind of equate it to sort of New York as well, because, you know, it's that kind of mix and match. You struggle in Paris to go and eat out in a great Japanese or, you know, great Thai, whereas in London you can get the best of everything, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a really exciting place to be, I think.
Right, so we've got the sauce there. You're making the nice little sauce to go with it, and you want me to pick these bits and pieces out as well?
That'd be great. So into there, I've got some of the beans that have been cooked and just drained off. I'm just going to turn those over a little bit with the tomatoes and the fennel.
Now, I did those without asking you, really, so we've just got diced veg in there, really, quite chunky diced veg, but you left them to soak overnight.
The beans, yeah. Soak them overnight, and then we cook them in some chicken stock, the chunky veg, like I say, so you can pick it out. And 40 minutes.
Tin veg, you'll still get the same sort of thing, but the whole point about this is the flavour from the, I'm assuming, the prawns, really.
Tin beans, if you want to do it really easily, then that's absolutely fine, but you can kind of get that extra flavour in when you cook it yourself. And cooking in the chicken stock gives it real depth. So we've got the stock in there now. The beans are in there. We want that on a nice high heat and get that to start cooking down. Put a little bit of butter just to enrich that.
I'm going as quick as I can with these.
Get the best jobs.
Yeah, I always get the best jobs.
You've got to pick them when they're hot.
We're just sitting here.
I'm surprised you didn't pass them over to me.
It's proper hot and all. Anyway, right.
Hot is good.
Right. No, I don't want to pass them over to you. You'll ruin your braces. It'll spray on your braces.
Yeah.
Right. Right, we've got the last one, I think. There you go.
Perfect. Once this all comes out to the boil, we're going to pop the shellfish in. So we've got some diced prawns there. Just get the best quality diced prawns you can get.
Yeah.
Or whole prawns, peel them obviously. And then some diver caught scallops.
There you go.
And then the mussels and the cockles inside. And we want to cook this really lightly because
now we're on about sort of that where that lovely halibut came from. I know you're familiar with that as well, but you get the most amazing seafood from that corner of the world, the west coast of Scotland. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the scallops, you get really big scallops from up there, and they're just so sweet and tasty.
There you go.
So into that we're adding some parsley and some chopped lemon thyme. Now the lemon thyme just gives real nice fragrance. And add a little bit of lemon zest as well, just to help that along. You want to be careful with the salt on this one as well, because the shellfish is just naturally salty.
Yeah. So the butter just used to enrich it, really, this one?
Yeah, butter just kind of helps give it a kind of silky texture. A little bit of lemon juice.
A little bit of fennel. Oops, only a small amount of fennel. Ice water just to freshen it up. There's your spoon.
Lovely.
There you go. Then you put it on the back into the scallop shells.
Yeah, so some of the scallop shells that we used in it. Make sure you get a good distribution of that shellfish. And then here...
It looks delicious, doesn't it, really?
Just got some breadcrumbs that are toasted in butter.
Over the top.
Try to get as much butter in this for you as possible.
Absolutely. You're welcome back again. There you go. Stick that in there.
And that goes
now,
under
of course, all of today's studio recipes, including this one right here, are on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Right, 20 seconds, that's going to be ready.
Yeah, so made a really quick fennel salad. There's some wild fennel in there. A little bit of shaved fennel. A little bit of olive oil, lemon juice and salt.
Now, we've got the seaweed to go with it. Don't eat this bit.
Yeah, there's only... Well, the seaweed gives us a real nice aroma. It really kind of takes you back to walking along the beach.
Like that.
But yeah, when you eat it, it'll be extremely salty.
So this has had enough straight out. That's toasted. And there you go.
Sorry, how long would that be in the oven for?
Literally 20 seconds over the grill, just to toast off
Oh.
those breadcrumbs.
And then fennel salad just on the side. Easily avoidable.
Make sure they clean the plate, chef. The roos will be watching. That's it. So give us the name of this dish.
So that's a shellfish casserole with a fennel salad.
First time on the show. Brilliant job. looks fantastic. How good does that look?
It looks lovely.
Mmm. You're terrible. I can tell you're from Yorkshire, James.
Exactly. What?
I didn't mean that. That was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't write in.
Please write in. Please write in. Go on, then.
Go on, you go.
Where's your next programme film? Yorkshire.
I love Yorkshire.
We've got muscle there. It's lovely. Smells delicious.
It is very good, that. I mean, you've got the scallops in there, but you can do it without. The key to that is the heads from the prawns, really. You've got loads of flavour in there.
Loads and loads of flavour. And the stock from the mussels. I mean, the one thing that I wouldn't leave out of that dish is the mussels.
Yeah. There you go. Fantastic.
Lovely.
Right, we need some wine to
Delicious.
go with this. Our wine expert, Tim Atkin, has been exploring Bewley Estate in Hampshire this week. So what did you choose to go with Steve's super shellfish? I'm going to pick up that salad. I have to agree with him as well, because in rehearsal, I actually was unsure, but this one is fantastic.
No, really good. There's nice sweetness in it as well, actually, which works really well with the shellfish.
It's very light.
Happy with that?
Yeah, very nice.
Happy with that?
Gorgeous.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
There you go. Without the fennel. And I did pick it up. Right, let's get back to Celebrity Master Chef, where things are looking pretty bad at the Harlequins Rugby Club. So bad, in fact, that John had to help out with dessert. So let's see what happened. See, who would have believed that they'll all get away with that? You can see how the celebrities get on when they have to cook in 2 top London restaurants on next week's show. Right, it's that time to find out some of your foodie questions. Each caller is also going to help us decide what Michelle will be eating at the end of the show. First on the line, we've got Leonie from York. Are you there, Leonie?
Hello, good morning, James.
Hi there, what's your question for us?
I've got half a leg of mutton, which has been boned but not rolled.
Yep.
And I've never cooked mutton before. What's the best way to cook it?
How, what, when and why?
With it, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Answer all the questions. Tom, yeah, you did that one.
I'll do that
John.
one, yeah. So I think the best way to do is probably put some breadcrumbs, some anchovies, bits of garlic, and you can stuff it and tie it up, and then roast it and just roast it all the way through. It'd be lovely. Or you can braise it as well. Again, I think it's lovely as well. Just a little pot roast.
I think it's like you say, fill it with the stuffing, tie it up, and then maybe pot roasting it was really nice as well. The Italians do it with sage and milk and that kind of stuff.
That's a lovely dish.
Yeah, which is really, really nice. But they actually just put whole milk with it, and as it cooks, they baste it as well, and the milk separates. Quite an unusual sort of dish, but it does taste fantastic. Have a go with that, pot roasting. There you go. What dish would you like to see? Heaven or hell?
Oh, heaven, please.
Heaven. See one already. And Denise from Alton, are you there, Denise?
Yes, good morning, James.
Hi there. What's your question for us?
I'd like some ideas of what to do with leftover roast chicken. Normally I just do a curry on a Monday and then use the carcass for soup.
Right.
I'd like something original to do with leftover roast chicken.
Leftover roast chicken. Go on then.
OK, I think if you take the carcass and make a stock from that, and then use that as the base for a nice risotto, maybe some asparagus, this time of year is great, a little bit of lemon, it'd be delicious.
With the chicken as well, yeah.
And
if you've got any,
flake through it.
If you've got any chicken meat as well, there's an amazing sandwich that I did on the show a while back, which is this layered sandwich. You start with a big cob loaf and hollow out the inside and layer it up with pesto and vegetables and all that sort of stuff, roasted peppers. And then when you leave it in the fridge, wrap it, you can actually have it throughout the rest of the week. There you go. What dish would you like to see? Heaven or hell?
Heaven, please.
Heaven. 2-0.
Shocked.
Tom from Chelsea, you there, Tom?
Yes, good morning, James.
Hi there. What's your question for us?
I have a quantity of fresh squid, and people normally associate it with a starter. I want to make it into a main course and something more substantial. Can your chef experts advise?
Well, we will do. John, fire away. Squid.
Well, I like to do, to make it go a little bit further, I always put it in risottos. I think it's really nice to go through risottos this time of year. You can make it a lot lighter. You can put fennel in your risotto.
You don't have to put squid ink in it. That's the,
no,
that's the
exactly. I just would saute it off with some garlic, chilli. Really nice. Put some risotto rice in there. And it's delicious. It's perfect this time of year.
I have to say, risotto with some lovely English asparagus. Delicious. Well, what dish would you like to see? Heaven or hell?
Michelle, I'm sure you'll like the crackling. I'm going to say hell.
I knew you were going to, because you're a man.
Derek from Cardigan. Are you there, Derek?
Hello there, James.
Hi there. Is that in Wales, then, I take it?
It's on the coast of Wales.
All right. What dish would you... What would you like to ask us?
I would like to know what to do. I've had a duck that I've had in the freezer for about 3 months, and I'd like to know how to do it nice, like a spicy kind of version.
All right, so spicy duck. Any
I think, obviously, defrost it thoroughly first.
It's a good start.
And then rub the skin with a nice spice mix, maybe some Chinese spices, a little bit of chilli on there as well, and just slow cook it, really slowly, sort of 140, 150 degrees, just so the skin goes nice and crispy and it's cooked through, and
You want
falls
to,
off the
if you're
bone,
going to do
really.
that, then cook it above the tray. Cook it on a trivet or some veg or some tray on top of a tray.
Let that fat render out and...
I think it's nice to roast it really high and then drop it down, like you say, isn't it, and cook it really slow.
But like you say, those 5-spice powders and mixes, cinnamon and that kind of stuff works fantastic.
Yeah,
well
beautiful with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and then you can have it...
sticky sauce or something.
Yeah, with chilli and everything else. There you go. What dish would you like to see? Heaven or hell?
Oh, definitely heaven.
Hell.
Heaven, there you go. Heaven, that was heaven.
Did it say heaven?
Yeah, it's heaven.
Oh, sorry.
See, we're not all that bad. And Bill from Belfast. Are you there, Bill?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your question for us?
I have a complete rabbit. I don't know what to do with it.
Right. You have a rabbit.
Yes.
Give him the rabbit. What are you going to do with it?
It was shot yesterday.
Oh, right. Okay, I was going to say, is it, yeah, just checking. What I would probably do is, again, just chop it all up, just into nice big chunks, soak it off, olive oil, garlic, and then a bottle of white wine would be nice, and then braise it nice and slowly and make it nice and tender.
Yeah.
I think it's really good with fried potatoes at this time. Nice fried potatoes and a salad, it would go delicious.
Yeah, nice. There's
rabbit with bacon as well.
I mean, you did a twist on a cassoulet. That would work as a cassoulet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a fricassee, something like that with mushrooms and slowly cooked like that, finished off with cream would be lovely. You got 3 dishes there. You got to pick one.
Oh, my goodness. A bottle of white wine, you said?
White wine and double cream with some top. Look at. Okay. I love Ireland. I love Ireland. What dish would you like to? Dish would you like to see at the end of the show? Heaven or hell?
Well, look, I love pork.
Right.
I love it, everything. But I want to see your tuna dish.
Oh, thanks, Bill from Belfast.
There you go. That's it. We got there in the end. There you go. Right, right, it's time for the omelette challenge. Paul Rankin is still at the centre of our pan, 17.5 seconds. So, Steve, who would you like to beat on our board? It's your first attempt at this.
I think John Williams with his lovely hat is standing out. Maybe.
Here? All right, 23 seconds. That's a pretty tough time because he was practising, I know that. So, usual rules apply. 3-egg omelette cooked as fast as you can. Are you ready? Have you been practising?
You really?
Yeah, he's been practising.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I apologise in advance for this.
Yeah, he's obviously not practising enough. Yeah, well, they say practice makes perfect, but, yeah.
I'd take my time over that and made it nicer.
Yeah. Yeah. On the phone now we have Michel Roux Senior. Right.
You whisked yours first, didn't you? And you didn't. You put them in there.
Michelle, it wouldn't have made any difference.
No? Oh.
Yeah.
Right. This one.
Yeah.
This is quite unusual because half of it is actually cooked, the other half is still raw, and you still got chunks of raw butter in it.
Well, it's a new style of omelette that I'm going for there, yeah.
Textures of butter.
Yeah.
Both different. Right. John, how quickly did you think you'd...
I'd go 20...
You wanted to be on our board?
I wanted to be on the board.
Yeah, because there was a steward's inquiry last time you were on. He cheated last time I was on.
I did, I did do it on
He
I
did.
can believe that.
2 eggs. You did it in 26.64 seconds.
Yeah.
But you ain't going on our board. You got it. Get used to it. You're on next month. This one. Next.
Felt like a 25-second omelette.
Ooh. It felt like a what?
25 seconds.
I think you're marching
25 seconds. You did it in 24.
Oh!
Wow.
0.56. But you're going in the bin as well. There you go. And anybody that's really happy is the guy who wrote the theme tune because he's just made an extra £2. £3 now. Stop playing it! Right, so Michelle get her idea of food heaven. That's seared tuna with asparagus salad, or food hell, stuffed loin of pork with mash and spring cabbage. John and Steve will make their choices and practice a few more omelettes while we begin our journey around Italy with those 2 greedy Italians, Antonio Calucci and Gennaro Cataldo. They start the trip by visiting a family who make an incredible balsamic vinegar, and to find out if the Italian tradition of gathering around the table is still alive. Enjoy this one. Great stuff. We'll have more from Gennaro and Antonio on next week's show. Right, it's that time to find out whether Michelle will be facing food heaven or food hell. Food heaven would be this pile of tuna that we've got over there. Great little salad. Sort of Asian sort of flavours, a nice little sauce to do with lemongrass and chilli. Food hell, on the other hand, would be roast pork, crackling, stuffing, cabbage, mashed potato. Lovely.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we know what our viewers wanted. It's not what these guys wanted. These guys wanted the pork, but they didn't make any chance because it was 4-3, so you're going to get the tuna. So we'll lose this out of the way. So what we're going to do, first of all, is make our sauce for this, really, and get our tuna on. So with this, really, we've got a decent-sized piece of tuna like that. All I'm going to do with this is basically cut it up into chunks, really, more than anything else. Now, for that, I'm just going to take a nice piece like this and then brush it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then some...
Do you think supermarket tuna's OK, or would you go to fishmongers?
No, absolutely. If you've got fishmonger, ideally. But, you know, sadly, they're sort of dying out, though, now, aren't they, really? But if you've got one, support them. That's always been my sort of thing.
Yeah, we have one locally,
But you can get good tuna anyway. But the most important thing is get it as fresh as possible, really. That's the key to it. So, hot griddle pan. And we're just going to put this straight on the griddle. So I'm going to serve this nice and sort of medium rare in the centre. So that's on. And then what we're going to do is make our little salad. So we've got some radishes. If you can cook with the turnips, please, boys. That would be it. That's it. We've got these nice little turnips. We're going to serve these sort of in
teeny turnips.
Yeah, tiny little turnips there. And the radish is cooked exactly the same way. So we're just basically going to cook the turnips, but then the radishes will be raw. But we're going to turn that into a nice little sauce, which we've got in here, in this pan. So I'm going to get this mixture on. Now, this is a mixture of sugar, rice wine vinegar, throw that straight in, and water. And what we're going to do is bring this to the boil together with some lemongrass and some chilli. So that's a nice little hot and spicy.
Are chillies good for cellulite, or is that just an old... I heard that, no?
Cellulite, isn't
Not suggesting you've got it, James. I'm just...
That's a new one.
I'd need to eat a lot of chilies to get rid of mine, but go on then.
But I was told that they're good, no?
Are they?
Maybe viewers might know, I don't know.
Eat them or rub them on the cellulite.
You need a lot of chilies, wouldn't you?
I don't know about that. Anyway, throw in the lemongrass.
Let's talk about something else.
Well, I don't know.
Let's talk about the food.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, it's gone very quiet now.
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to think.
Boys.
I'm trying to think.
There's going to be a lot of people rubbing chilli on their backside. You don't want to do that. That's pain like you wouldn't believe. But anyway.
That's what it does. You set yourself on fire.
My producer's in my ear going, I don't know how you're going to get out of this one. No idea how I'm going to get out of this one. I'm just cooking a tuna. So anyway, you brought it up.
OK, sorry. I'll talk about fennel.
Anyway, right.
Oh, I like that.
It's only a small bit, you see. Sorry,
that's a big bit.
No, it's not. That's a little bit. Have that in 2 slices of bread for lunch. So, a bit of coriander. And we use coriander and mint for this sort of dressing. Right, what the guys have done is got some lovely radishes there. The asparagus, all I'm going to do is serve that raw as well. I'm going to throw that in.
What could I use instead of coriander? My daughter hates coriander and parsley. What could I use instead?
She can't have it. The way coriander's a weird thing. I know
a lot of people don't like coriander, do they?
Yeah, but I think I've been told that it's the nation's favourite herb.
Oh.
There you go.
That's true.
Next to...
It's very good for cellulite as well, apparently. But I believe it is. So we got some mint and coriander. If you don't like that, then you don't need to put it in. But the idea is you're reducing this sauce down. Now, this has got the rice wine vinegar, water and sugar, and you can see that it goes sticky as well. So we're going to throw that in, and as you reduce it, it gets into this lovely sort of glaze. The tuna now, you can just roll it over like that. You see that on there, you see?
Yeah.
So you want that nice and pink in the centre for that one, all right? Nearly there with that. The guys are there with the salad. This is almost done. This is, you know when you get those sort of little oriental fish cakes that you dip it in? That sort of dipping sauce. This is the kind of stuff. Now,
this is quite a quick dish, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, really, yeah. So it's all cooked in real time, about 5 minutes, that's all it is. We just leave that to one side. Now, we played a little bit of casualty music earlier. You're on it next month, as starring in it.
I think so. I don't know, June, July... I don't know, I think it's June or July, I'm not sure, yeah.
Is Casualty that one, or is it Holby City, the one where you watch it, and the music's going, and you realise that something's going to happen to these poor little...
You're watching the wrong one.
Well, you know, no, it's one of those things where you...
You know what's really funny, though, James? You're not allowed to have anything red apart from blood on casualties. So that's why I've worn red nail varnish, because I'm rebelling, yeah, because I wasn't allowed to wear it. I turned up my first day with red nail varnish on, and they told me to take it off.
You're not allowed to wear it?
No.
Well, you always
only
watch
blood.
that programme.
You're only allowed to see blood. Everything red has got to be blood.
These poor little lads on skateboards in the park thinking one of them's going to get in the back of the hospital in a minute, or back of the you know.
It is amazing, actually. The prosthetics are fantastic. And it's been going for a very, very long time.
So you're part of that as well? Theatre coming up as well?
Yes, so, yeah, that's quite... It was just like, you know what, when I left Corrie, I wanted to be a jobbing actor. So that came up very, very quickly, and I literally finished Corrie on the Wednesday and started on the Monday. So it was nice just to sort of dip in and...
So where's the theatre, then? Where's that going to be?
It's in Hampstead. It's called the Hampstead Theatre. It was actually in Swiss Cottage in North London. And I start rehearsals in about 3 weeks. We open, I think, June the 22nd. I don't know who else is in the cast yet, because I'm the only one that's cast at the moment. Yeah.
Right,
there may not be a play, because maybe they might not want to do it. I don't know.
Right, so we've got our... Now, this is our salad. We've got the watercress, we've got turnips, we've got... Basically, all of it raw, apart from the turnips. Watercress, fantastic, lovely peppery leaf as well. And then all I'm going to do is just grab some of this dressing. I don't know whether you have any lime there. You've got any lime on there? No.
Yep.
Can you just do me a little bit of lime? That's it. And all we do is just take a little bit of this dressing like that. Tiny bit of lime in there. And then there's a long plate in the back there, if you can grab us that. Mix this lot together.
So this would be much quicker than cooking the pork, you see.
It would do, yeah. But we have got one in the oven as well that we're having... The boys are having for lunch, you see.
2 hours later.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll switch that off. And then it depends how well cooked you want it, but I actually think this is... When you've got fresh tuna like this...
Nice big steak as well, that.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you want, like that.
That looks great.
So we slice this up. This has had the salt and pepper on it.
See, I was brought up with the Galloping Gourmet. That's my sort of era.
What's that? Galloping Gourmet?
Galloping Gourmet. You remember the Galloping Gourmet, don't you? And he'd pull someone up from the audience and they'd come and sit with him and eat and have a glass of wine.
Well, we don't have an audience. We've just got Lofty on camera one who just eats everything anyway, you know.
Who's happy that you're not eating the pork?
Yeah, exactly. But you see...
That looks really nice.
Nice bit of tuna. And then you've got this lovely salad.
Really nice and spring colours there, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Well, warm salad, it's just... with the... You do need to cook the turnips. If not, you'd have to very, very thinly slice them on one of those mandolins. But
no sign of any soy sauce?
No soy sauce, no bits of fennel.
No, I love soy sauce.
Oh,
but...
You've got your soy sauce, please. No soy sauce. A bit of that. A few bits of that. And then...
Lovely.
You've got some of this dressing, which... This is this... A bit of lime in there at the end, and then just pour this...
Crunchy vegetables look great.
Yeah. So it's like a warm salad. And there you have it. But it's not quite finished yet.
Ah.
There's a slice of pork on it.
In here...
Whoa, look at that.
Oh, no, this is not finished yet. This is not finished yet.
Crackling looks good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We're really angry you didn't choose the pork.
Start eating it now.
Actually, do you know what? It does look very nice, I must say. It's not like the pork my mum used to cook when I was a kid. Sorry, Mum, I didn't think that.
Now it's finished. There you go. Pork crackling with it as well, but you get to dive in.
Everything's better with pork crackling.
Dive in, tell us what you think. That's the spicy sort of dressing to go with it. There's a bit of kick there, because you've got the sugar and the lime. It should work together, but dive in, tell us what you think. Yeah, with a bit of chilli in there as well. Now, to go with this, Tim has chosen a Reserva Sauvignon Blanc from Majestic's 2013, £6 at 79 pence from Majestic.
Perfect.
Happy with that?
Do you want some crackling?
Lovely.
Go on, give us some crackling.
Enjoying that? My mother's on the phone now going, it's still swimming, lad. It's supposed to be like that. Serve it nice and pink. That's the key to it.
It smells great with the pork.
But the pork, yeah. I mean, the pork...
Yeah, great with the pork.
Yeah, really, really nice with the pork. That chili jam might be good.
Don't do this at home.
That chili jam might be good with the pork, but I think that's the key to it. Keep it nice, light, fresh. But the raw asparagus, I think, works fantastically well with that as well.
Yeah, it's lovely. Really fresh.
Happy with that? Another great wine to go with it. I'm happy with that. Well, that's it for today on Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to John Rotherham, Steve Groves and Michelle Collins. Cheers to Tim Atkin for the brilliant wine choice today, and this is another spectacular one. Remember, all of today's recipes are on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Now, we're back live next Saturday at 10 o'clock. We can enjoy more Best Bites tomorrow, the slightly later time of 11:15 over on BBC Two. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day and enjoy the weekend. And don't forget, Giga Halibut. It's absolutely fantastic. Bye for now.
Thank you.